Well, 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 sir. I never thought it was the lady for a second. It has always been you. Seaman Stroganov, you seem to have quite a large purple stain on the back of your white uniform there. Eh? Ah, yes, I don't know where's the dirt come from. So nothing in particular comes to mind about the stain. What are you trying to say? It would appear that the significance of the stain has escaped your attention, Seaman. Allow us to make it plain. It's a very large purple stain on the back of Seaman Stroganov's uniform. And I think what made it is clear. Indeed it is. So, Mr. Naruhodo, I'll present the evidence that proves it. My pleasure. Alright then, the evidence that proves what the stain on the back of Seaman Stroganov's uniform really is. It's probably this. Because, let's see if we have any image that's like directly about like the vial now. Okay. It's this. The crime scene photograph. Yes! It's this photograph. And the ink it shows. That's what caused the stain on your uniform. Ink. A rather unusual color of ink. Purple. Ah! Ah, the penny drops at last. Now you see the significance. The Russian word on the floor next to the victim's body was written in purple ink. And the stain on the back of your uniform is ink of exactly the same color. If the ink had been dry, it couldn't possibly have stained your uniform in that way. Which means you must have been present in the cabin in the moments immediately after the ink was spilt. Alright, yes. 'Twas me, I did it. Everything. I arranged everything in Jed student's cabin to make it look like a wardrobe man did it. Then I pressed button to make a barrier to emergency stop and both cabin doors shut. I did everything so no one would suspect our angel. Biff, please. Don't worry, Angel. Let me do talking. It was after 1 in the morning. I was on duty, patrolling passageway. Then our angel came to me. She was white like sheet. Biff, please, you must help me. I went with her. The door to cabin number 1 was open. When I looked inside, I saw a student boy on floor. What happened there? Please don't tell anyone. My little one, my little furry friend. Everything that happened in cabin is like Angel told you. The kitten escaped through the ventilator into Mr. Asoki's cabin. And he tripped over it and broke his neck when he fell onto the floor. Yes, that is right. So after the incident when the cat ran away, Miss Pavlova then visited the cabin next to hers. Only to find its occupant lying lifeless on the floor. She said she was worried when she heard sounds of something falling on floor. That is when she went to look. No, Angel? The door was not locked, so she opened it to look, and you already know what happened after. There's just one thing, if you wouldn't mind. What? When you went to Mr. Asoki's cabin, Mrs. Pavlova, was he already dead?
Why?
I already told you. When Nina opened door of student's cabin and looked inside, I was asking Miss Pavlova. Well, Miss Pavlova? I think that's Ja. I don't know Russian, but I think that might be Ja. I'll try my best. Ja. Ja.
Oh. Yes, that is right. I saw him. It was dark and he was wearing black, but he was on the floor, not moving. I was scared.
I understand, and I believe you. So that's finally it now? Have we discovered the real truth about Cosmo's death at last? Ah, something very nearly slipped my mind. Oh, Mr. Sholmes? This photograph. Yes, I took this myself, you know. The cause of death was a broken neck, therefore the victim died instantly. In the unfortunate incident that precipitated these events, a kitten on which the victim stumbled. However, if those are the facts, there is one particular area in this photograph that seems to me somewhat unnatural. What do you mean, unnatural? What are your thoughts on the matter, Mr. Naruto? Well... If Kazuo tripped and fell, or some terrible stroke of bad luck broke his neck, which part of this photographic print seems unnatural? I'm not quite sure what they're going for here. And it could just be the message. But we've already... I need to remember, did we explicitly establish that someone else wrote the message? I mean, you must have, right? Like, we've already been over that, so it shouldn't be that, I wouldn't imagine. It could be his, like, finger position or something? I don't know. Like... And we're already kind of operating under the presumption that he could have been manipulated post-death. Because people were trying to frame me. And what's the question being asked exactly here? If Kazuo tripped and fell and by some terrible stroke of bad luck broke his neck, which part of the photograph seems unnatural? I mean, I can't really come up with anything other than just the fact that there is writing. But again, it feels wrong though, because we've already, like, litigated that point thoroughly, I would think. And what would it be if not that? Right? And there could be something to do with, like, oh, if you landed this way, you wouldn't have actually broken your neck or something, but... Like, I really don't want to get a strike. And one could make the arguments that, like... And I don't even know if this is accurate, but I might consider making the argument along the lines of, like... I don't know. I feel like it'd be difficult to break your neck in a fall where you land on your, it's like, stomach side. Especially on just a flat surface. Unless maybe he, like, hit his head on, like, a bedpost or something. Like, I don't have anything else. I'm just gonna... It feels wrong, though. It feels wrong because we've already gone over that, but I don't see what else we would do. Like, his neck looks fine. This is probably wrong, but here we go. This word in Russian clearly wasn't written by Kazuma. So, if you're looking for something unnatural, that's the obvious point. Very true. It is certainly peculiar, but it's not what I meant by unnatural, I'm afraid. That particular crass detail was orchestrated by the culprits. I mean to identify another point.
Oh, I see.
Imagine, if you will, losing your footing yourself. In my opinion, if you landed as the victim appears to have done here, it would be most unnatural. I'm sure you'll reach the same conclusion.
How thoughtful you are, Mr. Sholmes. Thank you for your gentle guidance.
And are we just back to, like, it's weird to land on your stomach and break your neck? Like, I'm trying to think, how would you achieve that? And what would I even click on for that? Maybe just, like, that position of the head, right? Here. It must be he. Sure, drats. Allow me to offer you a piece of advice regarding the pursuit of detection, my dear fellow. When noting a crucial point, it can be helpful to keep your eyes open. They were open. And it can be equally helpful to use them. Sorry. I'll try hard. I'll try that.
I think it's plain what Mr. Sholmes means by unnatural, isn't it? The word written in a foreign language underneath his fingertip. Surely.
That particular class detail was orchestrated by the culprit. No, I meant to identify another point. Yeah. Losing your footing yourself. Okay. Is it strange? You look like the sort of fellow who stumbles with some regularity. This should be an easy task. Why is his hand clenched in a fist? Like, wouldn't his body, like, relax after dying? Yes. Alright, if he really fell due to an unfortunate accident, then this fist just doesn't seem quite right. The exact same thought occurred to me. In a fall, one's instinct is to open the palms flat. Yet here we see the victim with his left hand tightly balled into a fist. Almost, you might say, as though he were gripping something. What do you mean? Simply that I took the liberty of investigating the victim's fist a short while ago. You did? And what, pray, do you imagine I found there, my dear fellow?
Mr. Sholmes, show us, please.
Why, of course, my dear madam. Would I keep you in suspense? This is what I found.
Oh, a crescent moon with a little gemstone in the middle?
Yes, you're right. Crescent moon. It's very pretty, but what does it tell us? It tells us nothing. I'm not so sure. That crescent moon looks... It looks familiar somehow. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere before. Observation, Mr. Naruhodo, that is the key. What? The truth is now tantalizingly close. How did that crescent moon come to be in Kazuma's clenched fist? This is the final clue, the last piece of the puzzle. Ask yourself, what does this little crescent moon mean? What significance has it? And observe. Find the answer with your own eyes. Well, I'm sorry, ma'am, but it's this. Miss Pavlova, on your ear there, I see you have a crescent moon as well. What? And on your other ear, there seems to be a crescent moon missing. The little link holding it on must have broken, I suppose. Now the missing crescent moon was found in the victim's clenched fist. Clearly, there is only one logical conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. Miss Pavlova, Mr. Sogi must have grasped that crescent moon and pulled it from your ear. Perhaps just moments before he fell to the floor. In other words, last night in Mr. Asogi's cabin, you witnessed the moment when the victim fell with your own eyes. In fact, you were quite literally at arm's length from him. But then the question is, why did Mr. Asogi do that? Why did he pull your earring from your ear and hold it in his clenched fist during his final moments?
Oh, no.
Angel. No one can protect you now. Please, Miss Pavlova, tell us the truth. Last night, what did you do to Kazuma? I'm not sure. I think this is her, maybe.
When I think about everything that happened yesterday, it was too much. Running away, a fishing boat in the middle of the night, trying to climb onto this huge ship. And then, when I was at last in this cabin and I could relax after this horrible, long day. Taka, wait! I couldn't believe it when she disappeared through the ventilator. I tried to call her with a little whistle. I tried waving her favorite toy. But nothing worked. Taka would not come back.
What are you doing here at this time? What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh. I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine.
The young man from your country. He was very polite and kind. He helped me to find Taka, and he promised not to tell anyone. But then, when I had my friend in my arms again, and I was going to leave the man's cabin.
Just a moment, sorry, but...
Oh, yes?
I'm sure I know your face. I've seen you somewhere before.
Huh?
Ah, of course. You're Nikolina Pavlova, aren't you? The Russian ballerina.
Huh? No, I don't know that name. My heart nearly stopped when he said that. You know who I was? How could this man from a land in the faraway east know a Russian ballerina?
Yes, I saw your performance in Japan. The beauty of the ballet made a deep impression on me. But what are you doing on the ship? I'm sure I read that your ballet company was performing in Shanghai at the moment.
I can't fool him. I have to tell him the truth and hope he doesn't tell anyone. I have no other choice.
I see. So you've run away.
Please keep my secret. Don't tell anyone.
Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here.
He's going to fall that court. He's going to tell the captain. Why did I think I could trust him? Then it happened. Everything at once. It was only a second, but it felt like forever. Wait! I shouted. And then Taka jumped out of my arms and pounded to the young man's feet. As he turned around to look at me, I pushed him. I don't even know why. I don't know why I did it. I was just so scared. And I had to stop him from telling anyone about me.
And that's when you went to fetch help. From the seaman Stroganoff, who was on duty out in the passageway. I heard Nina cry out and a thud on the floor, so I ran to her. She was standing at cabin door, shaking like a leaf. She looked at me and said,
"Help me, Viv. Find out I will be. Please, I have nowhere to go."
So you decided to help. And that's when you arranged things in Cosmo's cabin to make it look like look like I did it. So no one would suspect the passenger in the cabin next door. Yes. I went into the cabin and I looked around to make sure there was nothing to show Nina was there. And then I found Story in wardrobe, still sleeping. Right, that's when he found me.
So he worked out a plan to lay the blame on the stowaway.
I closed wardrobe doors and put back strange paper sign. Luckily for me, that's the only reason Susada-san started to believe me when I said I was innocent. I dragged young man's body to good place and used ink that was spilling to write on floor. I wrote this so that people who found him would look inside wardrobe and find stowaway. And tell me, what of the glass bell?
It was by my feet, so I picked it up.
I see.
But it was dark in the cabin. I didn't notice the other half.
Then Angel went back to her cabin and I finished job by pressing the emergency alarm button in the passageway. Yes. Accordingly, the SS Beria did indeed come to an emergency halt at a little after 2 a.m. Thus enticing the bolts on the cabin door to slide shut, creating the locked room mystery. There's still one thing I don't understand. Miss Pavlova.
What?
Well, you said that you told Kazuma about the fact that you'd run away from your homeland. And it's because you were worried he was going to tell the captain that you pushed him. Isn't that right? Wait, wasn't the captain in on it? Hold on.
Yes.
But even if he had pulled the bell cord and called for the captain of the ship, aren't you friends with every member of the crew? Why would that have been a problem?
was what he said first. That made me scared.
What he said first? What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh. I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine.
He said an inspector was his friend.
Yes. Meaning me. Who was supposed to be acting as his bodyguard.
I thought that if police knew about me, they would arrest me. So before he could pull the bell cord, I... May I stop you a moment, please, Miss Pavlova? It just doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, was Mr. Selkie really going to pull the bell cord? I don't know.
He's got a gun for the wardrobe.
What?
What do you think, Mr. Naruto? Well, I'm not Cosmo, so I can't know for certain, but he was a man of his word. If he told you he wouldn't give your secret away, then he wouldn't have done.
No, he was walking over to it. He was going to pull the cord. He was going to make them send me back.
Well, Mr. Naruto, the day's work is not yet done, it seems. There's one more deduction to make. What? Another deduction? Yes, what action was the victim really about to take at that moment? Can we determine whether the young man's gaze was directed? First, consider the victim's location within his cabin. And that's easy. I remember every detail of that room. I mean, yes, I spent quite a lot of time in the wardrobe, but still. That cabin has been my home for this entire voyage.
So this is how the cabin looked last night when Miss Pavlova visited Kazuma-sama?
Yes, it's exactly how it was. Are you ready then, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. There's one thing I've learned today. It's that a simple gaze can reveal all manner of truths. And not only that, in order to draw the right conclusion, you can't afford to be out by even a little bit when you're following the gaze to where it lands. So when he turned away from Miss Pavlova, what exactly was Cosmo looking at? Not the cord. Not the bed. He wasn't about to go to sleep. It was the wardrobe. The wardrobe. My wardrobe. I was in there at the time, of course, sleeping soundly. Too soundly. If only I hadn't eaten that chicken that was laced with the sleeping drug. If only he'd woken me up. Then maybe this tragedy would never have happened. What about the bed? Let's look at the bed. His bed. I remember him being annoyed about the pillow. He said it was too thin. Didn't he put that big, thick book of Japanese law underneath it, in fact? Perhaps he was thinking of looking something up. Either that, or talking to Miss Pavlova made him... what? Acutely tired. It was the wardrobe. Considering everything that had happened last night, certainly it may have looked as though Kazuma was going to ring the bell cord. Yes, however, what is directly beside the bell cord? The wardrobe.
It's a wardrobe?
And more importantly, what was inside the wardrobe? The man's great friend, sleeping soundly.
Ah! Miss Pavlova, please think back very carefully. What were Mr. Osaki's exact words last night?
Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here.
Another opinion?
Yes, but not from a member of the crew. No, Mr. Osaki intended to consult his close friend on the matter. To see if, between them, they might be able to help in some way, no doubt.
Oh, no. Sadly, we can't know the truth for certain now. It's too late for that. But I wish you had made sure of what Mr. Osaki was looking at. Things may have ended up very differently, if you had.
Miss Pavlova, I want to thank you for finally admitting the truth. But, unfortunately, the truth is, a man lost his life because of what you did. And that will never change. I hope you'll never forget that.
I'm sorry. Really, I'm so sorry. What have I done?
And so, at long last, the mystery surrounding the tragic accident on the SS Burya was finally laid to rest. January 9th, 7:14 p.m. SS Burya, first class cabin, passageway. What will happen to Miss Pavlova now, then? Once we reach Great Britain, she'll be handed over to the British police at Scotland Yard. Without the fact that she ran away from Russia. What, the Russians tried to repatriate her? Apparently the English detective can speak to the immigration office and sort all that out. Mr. Sholmes can do that? So she won't be going back to Russia, then? No, I don't think so. Even if she wanted to return in the future, I doubt she'd be able to. She ran away, so now she's in exile for life. I see. I'm sorry. Seaman Stroganov? I wanted to help our angel, no matter what. But I didn't think about you. About how you lost good friends. I will go with Nina. I will give myself to British police. That's kind of you. In the meantime, thank you for letting me go free again. Kazu's death feels like such a waste. That's... Well, do what you can for Miss Pavlova, won't you? Da. Well, I'm afraid you need to pack now. We're due to arrive in Hong Kong tomorrow. As much as it pains me, I'm going to have to hand you over to the consul to arrange your passage back to Japan.
What?
Yes. I did stow away, after all. Couldn't really expect any difference. So, you should get back to your cabin now. Looks like my study tour to Great Britain is over before it even begun, then. To think that only days ago, Cosmo and I were laughing together about how we'd tear up the streets of London. That seems like a distant memory now. Oh. What's that? Is it someone weeping? Oh, hey, Susato. Susato-san? I don't like the murderous glare while holding the sword. Oh, not a murderous glare. Okay, cool.
Naruto-san, I didn't know you had returned.
Oh, well, haven't been back long. Inspector Osanaga just told me I should pack. You know, ready to leave the ship tomorrow and all that. Oh, look at those eyes. So sad.
I still can't believe this has happened. I can't believe someone's life can be over just like that.
Sato-san?
He had such grand ideals for this visit to Great Britain. So many dreams. And now they've been cruelly taken away. Just as he has. I thought I could never forgive the person responsible. But now we know the truth. It was just an accident. Just a silly series of mishaps. It's too much, Naruto-san. It's just too much.
Yes, I know. I wish there was something I could say. Oh, you.
Inspector?
My duty was to see Asogi-san safely to Great Britain. But I failed, and caused his two closest friends great pain and suffering as a result. I've let everyone down. And I will do anything to make up for my terrible blunder. Nobody blames you, Inspector. And I'm free again now. What? Huh? Surprised, Mr. Naruto? What is the meaning of this? Oh, a trifling matter. Simply that in my head, I think I shall always picture you wearing those shackles. Without them, the balance seems all wrong. It's distracting. Sorry? So I decided to restore them, for old time's sake, shall we say. You are a stowaway after all. He thinks this is funny. We were having a moment, and you come and goof off like this.
Mr. Sholmes. We do appreciate all your assistance. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Not at all, not at all. And though it's a little late, may I offer my sincere condolences. The loss of your companion is truly heartrending. I hope that you will be able to fulfill some of his aspirations in his honor. I am afraid that won't be possible. We shall be disembarking at the next port in Hong Kong. We have to return to Japan and make a full report about everything that's happened. What? Wait a minute. It's just me that has to go back, isn't it? I mean, I was a stowaway. The terms of the study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. It was to be 1 lawyer and 1 assistant. Well, is that not what we have right here, right now, eh? Was to be? In the light of Mr. Asogi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. Oh, no. I don't care for me, but... Poor Susato-san. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. All you require is 1 lawyer, and the study tour can continue, surely.
But there's no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer.
Qualifications, you say? Any qualifications obtained in your own country will be of little value in Great Britain, I'm afraid.
Oh, but...
But anyway, the voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer.
Yes.
Miss Susato?
Yes?
Do you think, perhaps, I might be able to do it?
Huh?
But you're not a lawyer, Mr. Naruto. Oh, unless... Are you studying law? No, I'm not, but... I'm sorry, in that case, I don't think there's even a chance it could work. But as I said, there's still more than a month before we reach England's shores. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruto? Yes, I have a month in which to study, to learn what I must to become a lawyer in Great Britain.
Mr. Naruto?
That's ridiculous. Are you seriously suggesting anybody could learn all that in just 40 days? There's only one way to find out. I would work my fingers to the bone, Inspector, every single day. Will you let me try? And if, by the time we reach Great Britain, I haven't learned enough to be recognized as a lawyer, I'll take whatever punishment is deemed appropriate. But why put yourself in such a difficult position? For Kazuma. He said that there was something he had to do in Great Britain, and that he would sacrifice anything to make it happen. He was passionate about it. I can't let all that passion just come to nothing. And anyway, it's for my own benefit too. I will become a lawyer. I have to. What do you say, Miss Susato?
I think it's a wonderful idea.
Ah, thank you. She's got confidence in me. Oh, thank you. So, what does our bespectacled inspector friend say? Are you serious? 1 lawyer and 1 assistant. The numbers are indisputable. No. It's madness. Yet fascinating, wouldn't you agree? Fascinating. Duty and rules are the dull routine of existence that we all abhor. Give us interest, give us fascination. Speak for yourself. Besides, qualifications are no measure of a man. What matters is his character, no? And you've witnessed ample evidence of this man's exemplary character today with your own eyes. from the early hours of this morning until this very moment now. Despite contending with the passing of his close companion, and despite the accusation of guilt, this man has shown resourcefulness, intelligence, and above all, courage. Very well. I'll think of a clever way to word my report to the Department of Justice. Inspector! After all, I did just make a promise, didn't I? I said that I'd do anything at all to make up for my shortcomings here.
Oh, thank you, Inspector.
If you'll excuse me, I must pay a visit to the captain's quarters, I think. I need to discuss what to do next and how best to make my reports. Don't get beat up this time.
Are you really prepared to attempt this, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, I'm going to try. I wonder. Would you consider teaching me what I need to know? Everything about being a lawyer? Dude, if she knew everything about being a lawyer, couldn't she be the... Well, I guess legal assistant probably knows a good deal of the law stuff. Okay, fair enough.
I'd be delighted to help you. I am a judicial assistant after all.
Thank you.
And, Mr. Naruhodo, I'd like you to take charge of this.
Finally, a katana. Yeah. What? Me? Are you sure?
I'm sure it's what Kazuo-sama would have wanted. Its name is Karuma. It's a great sword that's been in the Asogi clan for generations.
Very well. I accept. I'll treasure it always. I feel like maybe it should go to his next of kin, though, or something, right? So then, Mr. Sato. It seems we'll be working together for some time to come yet.
It will be an honor, Mr. Naruhodo. And for the next 40 days, I shan't grant you a single minute of freedom. We shall fill every spare moment with study.
Yes, that's exactly what I need.
But, before we begin, I have an earnest favor to ask of you too.
Goodness, what is it?
Please, throw me to the ground 3 times.
What, since when is, like, martial arts part of training for law? What?
I should never have doubted you. You're Kazuo-sama's closest friend. Of course he would never have done anything to hurt him. That should have been obvious to me from the start. But I allowed suspicion to get the better of me. And no matter how upset I was feeling, it was completely unforgivable behavior.
No, you were in shock. You just found out about me stowing away, and the cabin door was locked from the...
No, I won't let you make excuses for me. Whatever the circumstances, I should never have thrown you. And not just once, but 5 times.
That number keeps creeping up, doesn't it?
Please, you must. Just take hold of me and throw me. Do it. Don't even think about it.
You know, 2 wrongs don't make a right. No. I don't even know how. I've never thrown anyone in my life. Very wise, Mr. Naruhodo. It isn't a skill one acquires without considerable training.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you're still here. That's embarrassing.
I observed your throwing techniques several times with great interest. I confess, I was most impressed. When did he see that? I presume that would be a form of Japanese wrestling?
Oh, well, in a way. It's not wrestling, but my own interpretation of an ancient jujitsu technique.
Or jujutsu technique? Apparently it's called the Susato Takedown. Leaves your head swimming, believe me. How beguiling. I am a practitioner of the combative arts myself. I am a somewhat accomplished boxer. There he goes, dancing around again. I wonder if you'd be so kind as instruct me on the technique of your arresting throw. Susato, you can teach him the throw. Don't use me as a dummy, though, alright?
Yes, I'd be honored.
Then let us not dally. Demonstrate, my dear madam.
Oh, of course. Are you ready, Mr. Naruto-san?
Sorry? Hiya! Well, that's 6.
As you can see, he's a row from the abdomen.
Ah, yes, resting indeed. And that is what you term the Susato takedown, is it?
Actually, no, that was a Susato squash.
In my groggy state of consciousness, a scene from an evening recently spent with Kazuha flickered into my mind. Karuma. That's right. It's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. I can't believe you managed to get permission to bring it with you. I mean, taking a katana on a study tour is more than a little irregular, surely. A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryunosuke. It can't be parted from my katana. Karuma guides me. I truly believe that. So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two? Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain. And I'll sacrifice anything to make it happen. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. That important thing he had to do. I still don't know what that was. Hope it'll be self-evident once they arrive in Britain. But I'm going to see the place for myself and work it out. In Great Britain's capital, London. And that's the end of Case 2.